zero reasons to believe that you couldn't do anything you set your mind to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're a little bit Italian, I think. You could be, you could be the next guy who makes, Papa Nick's. Like, right? You could do anything. You could create whatever. But one of the earlier statements that you made was, I want to pastor entrepreneurs. And I think you've set out to do that. And I think you have done that in a really unique way too, by going back to who you are at your core. Mm-hmm. At the core of who you are is somebody who really just wants to be there for people. You want to hold space, right? Mm-hmm. And I told you the other day, I said, I think you've helped me maybe just as much as I've helped you. And I said, because I didn't look for anything in return. I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna help you do this. And okay, by the way, I need you to do this. I threw out my hourly rate. I didn't put anything on the table. I'm like, I'm just here to serve. And I think by you seeing the opportunity for yourself, then you began to serve, right? Totally. And that's why there's no limitations placed on you, because the moment I place limitations on you, then what happens is then I have now limitations on myself because I'm not good enough anymore. I'm not getting the result that I want. You didn't set out for an agenda other than the fact that I just wanted to go serve, and the people came. Mm-hmm. The people showed up. And I don't know, like I remember like a week, not even a week, maybe it was like 6 days, 5 days, and you're like, dude, I crushed it. I'm like, what'd you crush? She's like, man, I got like 10 people to sign up. I'm like, doing well. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I just implemented what, Kim was telling me, and I was doing all this, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, not too shabby. Like if you could do Adam Sandler's impersonation, like not too shabby, But that was I think that was the difference between you and so many other entrepreneurs that I've seen. It's like you just knew like I needed to get over there and I wasn't gonna let anything stop me.
Yeah, nothing.
Right? But most people, they say they want it. They say, hey, I'm willing to do anything. And then the reality is they don't. You've heard the line, asshole, like don't be one. But a lot of people, they just do it because they've done it all their life. And I also don't like the fact that most people, when you coach them, they make excuses, and you didn't make any excuses. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, fuck it, I'll go do it. That's hardcore because that takes a lot of courage. And like you were talking about cold showers, dude, I was laying in bed last night, 9:45. I've taken a cold shower for the past 92 days, and I didn't take one yesterday. And I just getting ready to brush my teeth and go to bed, and I'm like, oh, commitment. Cold shower, let's go. 5 minutes, I take a 5-minute cold shower. 5 minutes does not go any faster. Day one, day now, just cold. And I did it, and I reminded myself that that's what you have to do every day. You only have one thing in this world, your word. Everything else is just an excuse. So be your word and then watch how everything around you changes. So that's what I'm most proud of about you, is that you just decided that it could be easier. You could find a softer, easier way. But the desire inside of you to change, one step, one thing, one moment at a time, it changed everything. Now, what's crazy is that your kids are too young to understand what their dad did. But if the dad, stays the course in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, when they go out and fall, because that's what's gonna happen to all of us, you're gonna be able to be there to help them and say, hey, look, this is what somebody did for me, this is what I'm willing to help you do. Let's do this better. And then in the future, they'll pass it on, right? I didn't have some magic secret sauce. I just had that I failed and I asked for somebody to help me and somebody did. And then I was willing to pass on what I'd learned. That's the only difference, right? So I'm really, really proud of you. And I think if you're not proud of who you are and where you're at right now, you need to acknowledge that. You need to acknowledge like, yeah, man, I was a couple $100,000 in debt, and in like a month, like I got out of debt and I put a foreseeable amount of money in the future, and I started realizing that I could do this. You just change your belief. Right? We all have blind spots. Your blind spot wasn't that you were afraid to ask for help. You just had to humble yourself. And if you work on being your word for the rest of your life, and you get really truly committed around your health, your wealth, your family, your relationships, and you're just like you are right now, passionate about helping entrepreneurs, but you can do that in all areas of your life. There's nothing that will ever stop you. You have God on your side. Like, that's the most powerful thing you can have, in my opinion. Because now what you've been able to see is in our weakest moment, God still loves us. So God never abandoned us. God was right with us. So now you had God by your side in the dark, and God's by your side in the light. So what can you do? Anything.